Mr. Chair and members of the committee, my name is Jared Goldstein. I'm a constitutional law professor at Roger Williams University School of Law. I've been teaching constitutional law there for 12 years. I teach free speech law. I'm the only law professor in the only law school in the state that teaches free speech, so that makes me the only free speech professor in the state. So let me tell you why. I mean, it makes me.
We really feel privileged.
Yeah, it makes me the best free speech professor, best constitutional law professor, but it also makes me, unfortunately, the worst because I'm the only one. I was really here to rebut the ACLU, but unfortunately they didn't testify. I have written testimony as well to explain why the bill before you is constitutional. Every court that has examined this question has held that conversion therapy bans like the one before you are constitutional. Every court. And let me tell you why. Every case is challenged under free speech claims, and the courts have said that there's no free speech problem to banning conversion therapy. And there are two main reasons. The first one is that the ban is not a regulation of speech. That is, what the bill does is ban any therapy by any means that has the goal of changing a person's sexual orientation. And so it doesn't matter whether the therapy is conducted by electroshock or drugs or speech. The defining category of conduct that's prohibited by the bill is therapy that has the goal of changing a person's sexual orientation, regardless of the technique. Now, the fact that conversion therapy is often conducted through speech does not make the bill a speech restriction. And let me give you an example why. There are many kinds of crimes that are carried out through speech. For instance,
2 minutes.
Am I already up to 2 minutes? So that's my problem.
Okay.
It's hard to summarize all of
Professor,
free speech law in 2 minutes.
This is a rare opportunity for us to get someone with your qualifications.
Yeah.
Could you address individuals and members have mentioned, do any of these a religious exemption? Is there room in there? Is there mention in any of the 6 statutes relating to a religious issue?
None of the cases, and that's more what I'm familiar with, have addressed any religious exemption. But all of the speech and conduct that's regulated by these are professional speech. And the states have vast leeway to regulate professional speech. If they granted it an exemption for religious practitioners, it would kill the whole purpose of the bill. That is the.
So the answer would be that this bill is relating to professionals, practitioners licensed by the Department of Health.
Right, and it only applies to licensed practitioners. And the state already regulates their speech to a vast extent. That is, it tells them that they have to conduct their therapy consistent with professional standards, which say that they have to conduct therapy, which is often through speech, in a way that isn't harmful. This is just of a piece with what Rhode Island is already doing by regulating the speech of therapists. And that kind of restriction has been upheld not just in cases involving conversion therapy, but across the board. Every state regulates the professional speech that therapists engage in, and there's no constitutional problem with that.
Thank you. Very helpful. Representative Canario.
Thank you.
And then Representative Perez.
I'm confused.
Yes.
Are you saying this is constitutional or unconstitutional?
It's constitutional.
Oh,
This,
okay.
every court has found it to be constitutional. Did I say something different than that?
I
apologize if I did.
Okay.
But no, every court has found it to be constitutional, and it's fully consistent with what the Supreme
Right.
Court
Thank
has
you.
said.
Thank you for clarifying.
Representative Perez.
Okay. My question is about religion.
Yes.
You say it's not conversion, but let's say you go to a minister. They're going to speak to you trying to take you for what they believe is wrong, to trying to make you in the way they think is right. That's going to be a felony under this law.
Not if only if they're a licensed therapist. That is, it only applies to licensed professionals.
To be a minister, you have to be licensed by the state too.
Yeah, but the bill doesn't apply to people who are licensed as ministers. It applies to them if they're licensed professional therapists. And they have to conduct themselves the way that all professionals have to, just like lawyers have to conduct themselves as professionals, and the state regulates through the ethical rules our speech, and there's no constitutional problem with that. So the ACLU thinks that there's a free speech problem, and I respect them. I love the ACLU. They're always here to defend free speech, but they're not right in this case.
Thank you, Professor Goldstein. Are there any further questions for this witness? Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you for your time.
And